Hey Nancy Drew Clue Crew! My name is Michael Gray, also known as Arglefumf, and this is my speed run for Nancy Drew, the Deadly Device. A speedrun is a video game challenge. The challenge is to beat a video game as quickly as possible. Throughout this video, I'll be pointing out all of the various tricks I did in order to beat this game very quickly. Now, this is actually my second speedrun for the game. My original speedrun was 59 minutes and 57 seconds. I did that on New Year's Eve 2012. This speedrun is new and improved. This speedrun is actually 55 minutes and 47 seconds and 56 milliseconds. So that's, I guess, 55 minutes and 48 seconds. It's an improvement of over 4 minutes, so I'm really proud of shaving 4 minutes off of my original run. So here is the first trick I did. You've already seen it. I double-clicked in the upper left-hand corner. This was a trick that Tiffany discovered. She says if you double-click in the upper left-hand corner, you skip the opening cutscene of Nico being killed. So that saves about 30 seconds.
He was a brilliant scientist.
I'm surprised the game lets you skip that scene, you know? There's something similar in Nancy Drew the final scene. Oh, hold on a second. Here's another trick I did. I typed that out on my computer keyboard, and I had no idea that was an option. So if you watch my previous speedrun, I click on all of the numbers. I had no idea that you could just type it out. And typing is a lot faster than, you know, me clicking around. You know, I try my hardest in this speedrun, but I'm not the best at clicking extremely quickly. So it's a time saver for me to type things out on my computer keyboard.
Advanced math and electrical engineering, then I'll explain.
I say that's a trick, but it was probably obvious to everybody who played the game besides me.
Shiny magic that lives in the power line.
Now, getting back to the opening trick of skipping through the opening cutscene, you know, the one that Tiffany found. You can also do that in Nancy Drew the final scene.
That sounds like you're working on the wireless.
I don't know why. You know, some Nancy Drew games let you skip the opening cutscene. Other Nancy Drew games don't let you skip the opening cutscene.
Please let the answer be something that justifies.
Yeah, I have no idea why that's the case. I have no idea who makes those decisions. Seems kind of odd.
No, that's correct.
No, I mean wrong answer for me. Not the answer I wanted to hear.
Do you know why Ryan?
Okay, so my commentary for the speedrun is probably going to involve a lot of babbling, because I don't exactly know what I did during the speedrun.
It's just
I actually recorded this at the beginning of September. So I did all of these videos 2 months ago.
And so on.
So I don't exactly remember everything that happened.
It's A to zucchini. To that thing from TV.
And I should probably explain what I just said. Videos, right. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's all one video, but if you're watching this somewhere else, you're probably watching this in 10 different videos. I actually submitted this speedrun to Speed Demos Archive, which is the main speedrunning website, and they accepted it. They accepted this as a world record speedrun. Hooray! But they will post all 10 videos separately instead of all together. So if you're watching on their website, I'm sorry it's split up into 10 videos. You might want to try watching it on my YouTube channel. Hey, gotta watch my YouTube channel. Hey, you know, it's got a bunch of Nancy Drew speedruns and other Nancy Drew stuff.
Do you want me to hit all the bullet points?
That's not necessary.
Are you sure?
So I'm doing mostly just you know, doing things that you have to do at the beginning of the game. You need to talk to Ryan. You need to talk to Mason about Ryan, and you need to grab these things for a puzzle in the next video. So coming up is going to be a trick which I found myself, one of the few tricks I actually found myself. It doesn't have a name because I found it, and I don't think I've shared it with anybody yet. I think it would be called, like, dialogue skip or dialogue interrupt, or Nancy is a big jerk because
Funny you mention that.
the point of
I
the
think
trick
we're
is to
having one right
interrupt
now.
Nancy's dialogue with Nancy's dialogue.
Most of the time, Gray can get things back online in an hour.
So you'll see that at the very end of this little video.
Close to the critical window.
Nancy is going to make a... I'm going to make a phone call while there's a scene playing in the background. And so phone Nancy, she's on the phone, she will talk at the same time background Nancy is talking. And so phone Nancy interrupts background Nancy, cutting off the dialogue. And that saves me a few seconds. And this is coming up in like, I don't know, 10 seconds. Okay, scene playing in the background. Now I'm making the phone call. And you'll see it here.
Hello?
I better get going.
Bye.
Huh? That's the trick. Phone Nancy interrupted the Nancy who was in the background. And so we cut out the entire background, you know, the entire huge line of dialogue. Okay, so that was a cool trick, and this is probably the most difficult part of the speedrun, just because the game is randomized. And that's actually another trick there. It's an improvement. Let me see if I
What's
can
going
find the
on?
person who
No
gave me
chit-chat.
this trick.
Calm. Now.
We
We need to get the system shut down
what's
before
the
the
name
grid
of
goes
it?
critical. Get all those switches powered off. I'll do the rest.
Could this have been used to keep the power on?
Give me
I
a
need to
second, I'm
keep
trying to
this
look up
together
my
with any
list. If
other
I was
evidence
smart,
I
I would have
find.
made that list. Okay, here we go. So this was found by
Nice work.
Mia
Now get out.
Lawrenson.
Who are
I believe
you?
that's how you pronounce her
What just
name.
happened?
If the grid had gone
So it
critical,
turns out
we'd
that
all
you
be
don't
dead
need
right
to
now.
get a
I'm
high
Greg.
score
I'm not
on
there, you are.
aggravation.
Don't tell
The
me.
game
Get
tells
out.
you need to get a high score, but that's a lie. All you have to do is get on the scoreboard. So the trick I did there was, instead of getting all the way to the end of the game and getting a high score, I just got to the first score I could get. It's a time
Can I help
saver,
you?
so thank
What
you,
brings you
Mia,
here?
for pointing that
School?
out.
Actually, I'm checking the lab out for a new potential owner.
Oh,
The
yeah,
aggravation puzzle's
Nancy,
randomized,
right?
but there are minor
Yes,
irregularities,
Ellie.
like round 2
Victor
is
wanted
either
me to
going to
show you the
start with
coil.
2
I
greens
guess
or
you could
2
say you're lucky.
yellows.
Most people never get to
But
see the
still,
inside of the
the
lab.
rest of it is just
And we're not exactly up
randomized.
to giving tours, considering.
Alright,
Ready?
so this is more introductory material. Ellie is introducing us to this stuff.
Pretty impressive, isn't it?
And that's the
Is
only
this
time
the
we're going to
coil
talk to
that was
Ellie.
responsible for Nico's death?
We talked to Mason the once,
Yes.
we're never going to talk to
It's
him
been rewired since that
again.
night. It
Nancy is
never
very
should have been set up that way
antisocial
in the
during
first
this
place.
speed run. In fact, the person she's
Why
going to
was
talk
it
to the
wired
most
that
is
way? There
Deirdre
must have been a
Shannon.
reason, right?
Now, I need you to focus on what we are doing. It's very dangerous. What you're in right now is called a Faraday cage.
Well, how does it work?
Basically, it conducts the electricity away from whatever is inside it, keeping you safe. Here
So one of the
we
cool
go.
things about this game is that it really made me interested in science and these Faraday cages. Like, I like Nikola Tesla, he's pretty cool. It's a shame he died so young, because, you know, if he had lived to, you know,
Okay, that's it.
become an
Back to the
elderly
office.
person like Albert Einstein did, he
Thanks for the
probably
demo.
would have
Any
discovered
chance you could let
so
me
much
look around in the
more.
lab sometime?
Nope.
Bye.
Bye. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Mason's
Okay, so
not
this
very
is the
forgiving.
part where Ellie
You don't
mentions
wanna be
you need to get a
messing
high
with his
score.
Stuff.
Sorry, I was just a little curious.
You know, he's not here. Make you a deal. He's been lording his high score at aggregation over me. Take him down, and I'll
So
let
this
you
is
poke
why I
around.
thought, hey, you need to get a high
Actually,
score.
I already beat Mason's high score.
Turns out you don't.
You
so
did good,
thank you,
kid.
thank you
This
again
is
to
me
Mia. That
looking the other
is
way.
very
It's a
helpful in
limited
figuring
time
out I
offer.
could skip that.
Bye.
Bye.
Also, thanks to, I don't know how to pronounce this person's name. Runawind, I believe her name. Her real name's Danielle. Runawind, who has been
Ryan should
helping me
never have
out
been
with
released.
submitting
follow
the
up on
speed
this.
run to Speed Demos Archive. She has the world record for the final scene. Or at least the world record on their website. I was able to beat their Danielle's record, but I didn't do like a perfect job of it. Alright, so what I did in the previous video was I set things up so I could solve like 3 puzzles in a row here in Gray's area. You can kind of see, you know, like I said, I'm not very good at clicking fast or quickly, so it's just, I like hesitate a half second before clicking here. This puzzle, you know, there are multiple solutions to this puzzle, and we'll see another one later on.
I need to get all of the numbers shown clockwise on the wheel using a binary code.
It's just difficult, and, you know, there are multiple solutions, but they're all about the same length.
Key cards used
you know, if there's an optimal solution, it's probably only a half second faster than the other solutions.
It doesn't appear anywhere else in the logs.
Alrighty, so I was kind of slow in typing that in because I was trying to get my mouse up towards the play button.
What do you think of Mason?
At the same time as you know, I was typing. I need an extra hand in order to do that. So
bye.
Dialogue interrupt there. Interrupted Nancy, because Nancy was going to say she's bypassing the security systems. Interesting. So, you know, I saved myself you know, a little bit of time there. Oh-ho! Video number 3. I am just not good at this puzzle. My gosh. I'm always clicking in the wrong area, so, you know, it might seem like I'm doing well, but I'm grabbing the shapes and not the order I was aiming for. Yeah. It's okay. Fortunately, it gets a little easier towards the end. Gets a little bit easier towards the end when you don't have as many options.
That doesn't sound good. Ellie,
so here I'm doing a trick. You'll notice I grabbed the thing from my inventory while Nancy was talking. So that way I save myself like a half second.
It looks like something is missing.
And basically I'm just setting up so I can solve multiple puzzles at once. That is a mistake. I did not mean to do that.
Broken.
Yeah, I didn't mean to look at the cabinet or, you know, use Nancy's task list. That was just a complete mistake. Oh well. Oh well, didn't cost too much time. You know, there are mistakes in this speedrun. It's not perfect. I'm sure somebody who can click a lot faster than I can could probably beat this game a lot quickly. Maybe not a lot, but they could probably shave it down to like at least 55.5 minutes.
I need to find a way to play this.
Alright, I'm robbing Ellie, and now I'm going.
Did that.
I'm playing with my task list just because I can. Hey, you know, there's nothing else to do while Nancy's, you know, riding on that slow elevator of slowness. So here's a fun thing. Try to escape the room. I did it, yes! So Deirdre automatically calls after Nancy wakes up, and if you're really good, you can escape the room before Deirdre calls.
How did you know?
Some friend of my dad's called me for a reference.
So there are two ways to make Deirdre appear. You can either use the clock on the bedroom, which is what I did here, or you can accuse Ryan, and then you can wait a couple of minutes.
Don't make a habit of it.
I obviously decided to go with the using the clock in the bedroom.
I might need some outside help with this case.
Did you forget?
So there's a minor mistake I'm going to do here at the end of the video, and you know, video number 4.
Maybe someday I could help you out.
Oh,
well, that's a while off. I won't talk about it quite yet, but
sounds too tempting to ignore.
there's nothing else to talk about while Deirdre's just going on and on. Oh, Deirdre's gone! Okay, bye! Yes. Alright, I enter and then immediately leave to skip a forced conversation about the robot cat.
Card?
Yeah, Nico's personal player.
When I say row, you say bot. Robot. Robot. When I say bot, you say cat. Bot. cat.
exactly does
Bot
that thing
cat.
work?
Word to the R,
Here,
to the
this
O,
should
to
use
the
the
B,
trick.
to the O, T, C, to the
Thanks.
A, to the T. So when
I
I
need to
say
rebuild the
robot,
missing
you
part
say
from the
cat.
large Tesla toy.
Robot
Can you help
cat.
me out?
Robot
Plans
cat.
here. Yep.
I like that robot
you
cat
go.
song.
Thanks.
Thank you. Working here, I forgot that phrase existed.
Do you know how
Yeah,
I
despite
can
the
get
fact
little
that Nancy
Tesla
said
coil
thanks
in the lab to work?
previously.
The circuit board is shot. You seem like you know what's up. I bet
So
you could
this
make
is
a new one
where
yourself.
Ryan just gives
You'll
us
find
all of
everything
her
you need in the photo lab.
chores. It's not
I'll let you go.
nice, but
Bye.
I deliberately set things up so I could, you know, do all 3 chores at once. I mean, I could ask her about all 3 chores at once.
Check.
Okay, and then I'm doing the time saver by grabbing this thing, you know, before I have to use it.
Ryan gave me should help with this.
This solution is the same every single time.
It looks like a memory lock.
Well, it's not the same every time. It depends on whether you're playing Amateur Sleuth or Master Sleuth modes. So, so fun fact, you know, the official walkthrough for this game on GameBoomers.net, it's the one that most people use. The official walkthrough lists that color at the bottom as brown instead of orange. It's like, no, that's not brown, it's orange.
Great. Just what Ryan wanted.
And when I say that's the most popular walkthrough, I mean that's the most popular text walkthrough. I hope that my video walkthrough is the most popular video walkthrough. It's possible, I guess. I don't know, I don't keep track of those things. All I know is that you know, Matt Grow always does a walkthrough. He always writes out a walkthrough for the Nancy Drew games very, very quickly, and they're always very helpful.
Did that.
Alrighty,
That's done.
so
That's done. That's done.
gonna do a little bit of time saving here by not listening to all of the audio diaries.
It's Wednesday. I found, and then later she confronted me by the couch in the lounge and handed me another.
Yeah, you only have to listen. You only have to reach the end of that particular diary entry. You don't actually have to listen to the entire thing. Oops, made a mistake there.
Whoa, better follow up on this.
There's Ryan's extremely, you know, specific threatening note slash alibi giver. Yay.
Hi.
I found these notes
Okay,
in
so
the
I might as well
lounge.
talk about
Is this your
the trick I do at the end of the
Yes.
mistake I do at the end of this
So you
segment.
admit to threatening Nico.
So,
It looks
the
like a threat,
fastest
but it
way
really
to
isn't.
save the game is
What else
to
could it
just
possibly
hit the
be?
save button
It
and then
says right
click
here.
enter 3 times.
I know
Or no,
what it
wait,
says.
hold on a second.
Then what?
The fastest way to save
warning.
the game is to click on
It
the
means
close
just
window
what it
button,
says.
run the
He
game
wanted
inside a
me to
window,
build
click
something
the
that could
close
kill
window
him.
button,
I
and then
had to
hit
make sure
enter
he knew
3
what he was working
times. That
with.
will automatically save
You
the game
have
under
anything
the
to prove
last
that's
used save
true?
name.
You know what? I need you to leave
The
me
mistake
alone
I
right
do
now.
here is
Go,
that I,
please.
instead of using the enter button, I actually click on the buttons, which doesn't waste that much time, but it's still waste time. And we're going to see that in like 2 seconds.
I need to connect
Here we go.
all of the
Yeah, it's much faster to click the
I need to
enter
connect
button
all of the
than it
circuits.
is to actually click load, save, so on and so forth. Right, so, like I said earlier, Deirdre automatically calls once you find the evidence which indicates Ryan is guilty, and that's why I put this puzzle here. It's like, well, I need something to do because I have to wait a few seconds, I have to wait a few minutes for Deirdre to call. And this is a puzzle which takes about 2 minutes. Actually, I don't know how many minutes it takes. I just know it takes a while. So it's a little bit faster to run this on Master Sleuth mode, this particular puzzle, because it has multiple solutions on Amateur Sleuth mode. And I'm going to throw myself off here accidentally because I didn't know which solution I was going for. So if it looks like I'm hesitating because I have no idea what I'm doing,
All done.
it's
Now
true,
it's
I
time
have
to
no idea
etch
what
the
I'm
design.
doing. I was going for solution A, and I ended up with solution B.
This looks dangerous. I should make sure I know what I'm doing before I start. The red
Alright, so you
must mean
absolutely
it's
have to
locked.
look at the
I
cabinet.
think if I
I mean, you
turn
have to look at
everything
the
blue,
area
it'll open.
before you can solve this puzzle. I can't help but feel there should be a faster solution to that puzzle. And here's Deirdre's phone call.
Camp. How's my favorite buddy?
What do you want, Deirdre?
What do I want? This is about what you want, Nancy Drew.
Is that so?
It cannot be more so. I come bearing apologies. I want to help you, Nancy Drew. I want to be your girl on the inside of the exciting world of criminology.
Why the sudden change of heart?
Because
So Deirdre
apparently
talks a
it
while.
still
This
counts
phone
as
call is
plagiarism if you
slightly
pay
different
someone to
depending
write
on
your
what's
paper.
happening. You
I
know,
mean,
if you let her
the
call
cat wasn't
you,
dead because
it's
that's what it seems
different
like.
than if
And
you
you
call
want to
her.
help me because...
I made a bargain with my prof. If I can help an actual murder investigation, I'll get credit. So I help you help me collect data for my paper, and balance is restored to the universe.
How exactly
So I think
can
the
you
normal
help me?
solution
I've
is
got
you
connections
call
in our
her.
criminal database.
The normal solution
In
is
fact,
you
I
get
already read
this
up on the
apology from Deirdre.
That could come in handy. All right, it's a deal.
Great.
And because I did things
Call
out of
me
order, we're getting
and
the
I'll do what I can.
abnormal solution, which is
Don't call
this
me when I'm
one.
busy.
Will do. You read up on the case,
Right
right?
there. The conversation
I
is
don't
supposed to
understand
cut
why
off
Ryan was
after
under
will
so much
do,
scrutiny,
and then
but
you can
never
talk with
sent to
her.
trial.
But because I kind of did things out of order, you know, it automatically jumps into the storyline about
Someone
Ryan
had to be
being
in the lab
cleared.
with Nico. Otherwise, he'd still be here
Because
today.
that's basically what Deirdre's
So
good
if
for.
her
She
alibi
clears
stands
Ryan.
up, it couldn't be her.
Exactly. Unless there's something big I'm missing.
Something's weird about this whole thing.
Well, don't keep me in suspense. Figure this out.
I asked her about the night of the murder. She was pretty much mute. I'm undercover here. I can't push too hard. Can you see what you can find on your end?
I'll see what I can find.
Oh
All
yeah,
I've
and
got
on
is
my
the
original
database.
speedrun,
Don't expect a miracle.
Rua Hannah asked, "Hey, how did I beat the game so quickly? Did I have the puzzles written out on a piece of paper?" Yes, I did. I was actually reading it off of a virtual piece of paper, I suppose you would call it. Just reading it off of you know, a computer file. That might not be the fastest way to move around, but it looks kind of cool. You know, I accidentally went to the right instead of going to the left, and so I'm like, you know what? I'll work with this. I'll just do a U-turn instead. Gotta be flexible sometimes with speedruns. So this is the fastest solution, in that, you know, you'll notice the number 3 vial automatically fills. I mean, it automatically unfills itself. So that's why that's the fastest solution.
What's up?
Did you
And it's a
find
minor
anything
time
on
saver
Ryan?
here. I'm calling
Nancy,
Deirdre while
Ryan's
the
alibi
elevator is
stands
in
up.
motion,
She couldn't have killed Nico.
because the
What?
elevator's in motion no
How
matter
do you
what.
know?
So those
She
two
told the
things are
police that she
overlapping
won
each
an
other
award.
by
That
a
was her
second or so,
alibi.
and it
But
saves
left
about
her
a
with enough
second.
time to sneak back in. It wasn't airtight. Close, but not perfect. There was nothing in the crime database. But I had a hunch. I went to the journalism lab and used their photographer database.
Alright,
The
so the circuit
ceremony
board,
was
you
an
saw me
actual
make the
story.
circuit board.
So a bunch of
What you're supposed to
freelancers
do
put
is
their
use
shots up
Nancy's
for
clock
sale.
to skip ahead
You
half
found
a
pictures
day,
of Ryan,
and then
but
pick up
what
the
does
circuit
that
board.
prove?
By itself, nothing.
So this is going to be
But two
overridden
by
by Nancy getting knocked unconscious in a moment here.
Standing near a visible clock.
So that's
She
a
couldn't have
time
made it back
saver.
in time.
Yes, that was the finale I was building to and was excited to get to say out loud that you interrupted.
Oh, Deirdre, you're amazing.
That is a genuine compliment. Okay. I'm working on tracking down the photographers, but it could take weeks. For now, it looks like Ryan's in the clear.
I'll let you go.
See ya!
Alrighty, and these are just phone calls.
I found a way to prove that Ryan's innocent.
I was
It
hoping there would
wasn't
be a
her.
faster way to get through these phone calls,
you
but
mean?
apparently there's
Photos
not.
from her award ceremony prove she couldn't have made it to the lab in time. It's not possible.
That can't be true. All of that evidence. I'm sure it was her.
Deirdre's working on getting the photos over to the police now.
They'll reopen the case and everything will just stall out again.
Okay, what's my next move then?
I don't know. I have to think.
Hi.
You really are innocent. I'm sorry I ever doubted you.
Don't be sorry. It's the smartest course of action. Look, I gotta ask you. You're not really here for a new investor. You're here to look into what happened to Nico, aren't you?
No.
Okay. I 100%
Oh, sorry I got
believe
quiet.
you.
I was too busy
But if
watching
you
the game
were
here.
lying,
Hey, it's
you should
Ryan,
know that I'd
everybody.
answer any question you have
Ryan.
about anyone.
I better get going.
Later.
So yeah, now I don't have to, use Nancy's alarm clock to get the circuit board because she got knocked out. Nancy's pain is my gain. And I dumped that stuff inside the machine just because I'm gonna have to do it later on at the end of the game.
I'd better find my way out as quickly as possible.
I technically didn't need to save there, but, that was sort of a long video, and so I wanted to split it up a
Back
bit.
off, old man.
I said, what are you doing here? And while I'm at it, what's in the bag?
And I said back off.
What's up?
Hey, let's go!
Do you know how to fix
I
a
don't wanna
musical
see you.
test?
So,
around
I'm using that
Really?
phone puzzle. I'm using the dialogue interrupting trick again.
Yeah, you better run.
Goodbye.
See ya!
Wow, I skipped all of Nancy's dialogue here. What she says is, what were they arguing about?
What's he doing in there?
Don't know you. Who let you in?
But we've already met.
This took me
In the
forever
lab?
when I originally did the
Never
speed
mind.
run.
I'm Nancy.
You
I'm
actually
here
have
doing
to talk
research
to
for a
Gray
new owner.
before you can get the
Just
stuff
what this
from his
place
shredder.
needs.
If
You're
you
not
hear
a
the
fan of the
shredder,
idea?
it doesn't work. You actually
Nope.
need to talk to him
Why
about
not?
it.
Not a fan of most ideas.
That's a strange attitude for someone who works at a research facility.
Might be.
What were
And I
you
find it
shredding?
interesting that Gray's main
Nothing.
personality trait
It
is
didn't
just
seem
grumpy
like
guy with a
nothing.
beard.
Leave
But
it
the only line of
alone.
dialogue we do
I'd
here
better
is the
get
one where he
going.
laughs at a
Aye.
joke we make. So he doesn't really come across as a grumpy guy. And what am I doing here? I have no idea. I think I'm going upstairs. Okay, so this is a change from my previous
could be
run.
useful.
I'm getting these capacitors and
Strange.
Ryan books
What's
at
Ellie
this
up to
point,
with this?
as opposed to getting them later on in the game. Because, I had to double back here to do
I need to
this puzzle
rebuild
anyway.
Ryan's part. I think that's
So,
right.
I don't feel like it's that much of a time saver, but I actually did this just 10 times. I tried
need to
all
get
the
this to
various
add up
combinations,
correctly.
and this was the fastest one. Because you'll notice I go to Ellie's, I go to Mason's, and I go to the area in between Ellie's and Mason's. But for whatever reason, it was fastest to
thought
go
they hated
Ellie's,
each other.
Mason's, and then the middle.
What's going on here?
I don't know why. I guess I just find it easier to click in that area. Doobie-doobie-doobie-doobie-doo. So I'm gonna get rid of Gray and get his shredder paper stuff, and then that will be the end of this segment, segment number 5. Wow. We have passed the halfway point of the speed run.
I bet I could tape this back together.
yeah, I'm solving this puzzle first. Cool. You absolutely have to pick up that audio card, even though I'm not going to listen to it, so there's no point in doing it, but you absolutely have to do that.
What was on this page before Gray
And you might have
shredded
noticed
it.
that this thing resets, so the location of the various pieces resets. And that every time you save and reload, the pieces are going to be in different spots. So I made a minor mistake there, but I'm going to make up for it later on. Alright, where's my cool making up for the mistake thing? I'm gonna do the really difficult thing, this one. Connecting a piece on both sides at the same
now
time.
To find a way to take this with me.
That is
was put into
basically impossible. So I'm really proud with how that happened. That worked out really well.
Gray's shredded notes seem to mention this was important.
Alright, and I'm gonna look at that video. I think I figured out when I was playing this game what these numbers stand for, LBTY, so that stands for laboratory, and the other one was HLLW, which is hallway.
What was Nico working on? Is this some sort of code?
So here I'm doing a time saver. I'm solving this puzzle at the same time that, you know, the video's playing in the background.
Gray? Is this the unedited tape? If it is... Wait, what's that code in the corner?
I'm purposely not finishing it there because I want to save that for another dialogue interrupting trick. So that's going to be this trick right here.
Play every fifth letter above on the... Who's there?
Yeah, so Nancy's
Hello?
good. Nancy interrupts Nancy there. I mean, background Nancy interrupts, you know, the... I don't know what to call the different Nancys. We've got two Nancys. One's solving the mystery in the book, and the other's being confused because somebody slammed the bathroom door.
These must be the notes Nico mentioned to play.
This is more or less me memorizing the puzzle and, you know, reading the notes off of a piece of paper. There have been times when I've messed up on that puzzle and it feels embarrassing. Yeah, so segment 6, not a whole lot to segment 6, just a bunch of short puzzles which are a little bit tricky.
Time to replace...
Alright, segment 7, what do we have here?
Time to replace the capacitors like
Mostly
Ryan's noted in the book
plot-related
described.
stuff that you can't skip. Okay. So as you can see here, the way to solve this puzzle is to, you know, put things so that the red, you know, put the pieces down so the red piece is always on the top, and purple is always on top of red. So you can kind of see it, that, you know, the red is always at the bottom of a segment, with the purple segment above it. Nancy Drew, here for you. I do like the music in this game, it's very good.
This might be what Nico was talking about.
What's up?
Now, it is possible
I think
at this
there may be
point in the
something
game to
weird about
skip
the security
this and then
video
just
from the
go
night of
ahead
the
with the
murder.
blacklight stuff
Could
and
you
discover
take a look at
Nico's
it with
hidden
me?
laboratory.
Yes.
But it's not really a time saver
This
because
track
then
is
you'll have to
something
go all
Nico
the way
had me
back
add, so
for,
the security video could also do
you'll have to
double
make
duty
an
as a
extra
data
trip
set.
back to
He
Ryan's.
liked tracking the ebb and flow of the
Basically,
electrical current
you
throughout
have
the
to
year.
visit Ryan about
It meant
6
something to him.
times.
I've heard that
7 times. Okay, so you need to have her
could-
examine the security
Wait.
video. You need to go to
What?
Ryan to
Right there.
get the black light.
And there.
You need to
Let me
ask
get a
for the
closer
gummy
look.
bears from Ryan. You need to
It's
get gummy
true.
bears from Ryan. You need to get a card from Ryan so you can enter the
There are
lab.
breaks in the
You need to
signature.
have Ryan
This
distract
video
Victor
was
so you can
tampered
get
with.
Nico's fingerprint.
Someone
And you
followed
need to
Nico
get
into that
Ryan
lab
to
and
distract
edited themselves
Victor
out of
for
the tape.
Nico's
I'm
audio
pulling this off the
diary so
network
Nancy can
before.
listen to that audio diary.
What
So there
just
actually
happened?
That footage must have
7
been
times
flagged.
you need to
Whoever
visit
killed Nico knows
Ryan.
what we just
yeah.
saw.
Where are you going?
Anywhere but here. If you're smart, you do the
So
same.
yeah, you've got overlapping puzzles, and you know, even if you do the security stuff first, like if you do the fingerprint stuff first, it's not that much of a time saver because you've got all these other reasons to go back to Ryan's laboratory. Now, I will point out the time saver, but that's
What are
going to
you
be in
doing
the
here?
next video.
I was going to ask
video
you
number
the same
8.
thing.
This might come as a shock, but no one wants
Which of course
you
means
lurking
nothing to
around
you if
here.
you're watching this
Why
on
don't you just leave me to
YouTube.
my
So
work?
hey, if you're not watching this on YouTube,
I'm not lurking.
watch it on my YouTube channel.
What's
My
that?
YouTube channel is amazing.
Wait, stop!
It's
Someone's activated the machine.
yeah,
You have
Arglefump,
to
the
shut it all
Arglefump
down.
YouTube
Please,
channel.
hurry!
Hooray!
I need to find a way to turn off all of the power.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There! Got it!
Thank you! I appreciate that!
Who could have turned that on?
No clue! Look, maybe we can keep this between ourselves, okay?
What are you doing? Nancy, we should have a talk. Come on. Nice job. You saved me some paperwork back there. It's unfortunate that we couldn't be meeting under better circumstances.
Yeah, Victor is
it
a
wasn't
grumpy
exactly
man
fair
with a
of me to ask you to
beard.
take on such a large task.
Nico is a
It
grumpy
looks like your
man
ride is
without a
going to be a
beard.
little late.
Mason is a grumpy
Get
man
settled in the
without a
lounge and
beard.
please,
Gray is a grumpy
don't
man with a
touch
beard.
anything.
They're all just grumpy
I'm going
men
to
in
need
this
all of your
game.
passes and keys. Where did you even get this? No, I don't even want to know.
What's going to happen next?
Snow clears, you leave. I leave, hire a professional next time.
So if you've been following
Killer gets
along,
found,
Nancy
killer
just
goes
got
to jail.
fired for saving
I
Mason's
better
life.
get going.
Mm-hmm.
And Mason somehow got his hand stuck on the Tesla coil, even though there's no way that could have happened. He has a short-sleeved shirt, so it's not like he got his sleeve caught on it. He doesn't wear a watch. Why was his hand stuck on the Tesla coil? Did he accidentally put his hand in glue or something?
Did you hear? A snowstorm of gloriously epic proportions is bearing down on us. I might get to break out the snowmobile.
Or we
we
might get snowed in like last time.
I need a new key card. Can you help?
Well, sorta. Here, this should do the trick.
Thanks. I need your help distracting Victor.
I've got just the thing.
What is it?
Listen.
Oh, no, I don't want to listen.
That is awful.
I know! Victor?
Fortunately, the game just doesn't play that sound effect,
Like
sound effect ever again. So even while it's
if I
playing,
leave this thing
you
running
know,
for more
it's
than a
not
second,
playing.
he'll be yelling at me to turn it off.
Does that make
Perfect.
sense? I mean, Ryan's
But Nancy,
obviously using that
I
sound to
also
distract
hate it,
Victor, but
and I
Nancy
hate getting
can't
yelled
hear
at by
it.
Victor.
So
whatever you need to do,
I
please
guess
do
it's
it
technically
quickly.
playing, but
Okay,
we don't
I'll give
hear
you a
it.
minute and then I'll let her rip.
Anyway, we're basically at the end of this segment. Hooray! Next is another 3-minute segment. So the next segment is kind of short. Really could have put these two segments together, number 7 and 8, but
I
I
have the
didn't want
clues I
super
need.
long videos.
I have the clues I need. Time to figure out the correct sequence.
That was a really good puzzle. I liked that puzzle. I liked it a lot. So part of the reason I do this later as opposed to earlier, like I said, you could discover the secret lab and do the fingerprint challenge earlier. Part of the reason I do it
This
later
has to
is
lead to
because
whatever Nico was
if you do
hiding.
it at the beginning of the game, Victor gets mad at you and he yells at you
Biometric
on the phone.
fingerprint
He doesn't
scanner.
yell at you in
This could be a
person.
challenge.
So that's kind of a time waster, because if you do it here at the end of the game, Victor just doesn't care. He stopped caring a long time ago. Oh, Victor. So this is nice. You know, Victor is already distracted. You know, I pre-distracted Victor before realizing I had to distract him.
That might be Nico's fingerprint.
So
on
that was a nice little thing I did there. I'm glad the game lets you do that. You know, if we're speaking logically, Nancy needs to see the fingerprint. I mean, Nancy needs to know she needs a fingerprint before she can distract Victor with it. I'm talking nonsense there. Anyway, basically, I distracted Victor to get the fingerprint before I knew I needed to get the fingerprints. So that was nice. Bit of a time saver there. Oh, hey, Ned sent us a message. Ned's not very good at voice messaging. So I skipped ahead an entire day there just so I could talk to Ryan again. It's slightly faster to skip ahead a half day, but I need to talk to Ryan again based on how I, you know, set things up. So, yeah. Now you might be thinking, boy, Michael, you're wasting time, but you know, I'm throwing out these alternate strategies of how you could deal with Ryan and arrange things. It doesn't really save time to do them, and here's this big time saver. This is the final major trick that somebody gave me. This was always the butler. Always the butler gave this to
Victor
me.
is a candy hoarder. Liberate his sugar stash.
You know, normal people were able to figure this out. I wasn't able to figure it out myself, but
Ear, ears, and general feelings of
normal
self-worth.
people figured this
I'm
out.
sorry for what's about to happen to you.
It's, you can
sad
steal
friend,
Ryan's gummy
Ryan.
bears. So what you're supposed to do now is go downstairs to Victor's office and come all the way back,
Ryan
which,
promised to give
you
me some
know,
if I helped
is
her.
kind of
I should
tedious.
wait.
But I saved myself
Sorry,
2
Ryan,
extra
but you
trips
need to
on the
come and hear
elevator
these
by
bears.
stealing the gummy bears here. So I think that saves me about a minute. That's a really good trick.
Whoa!
And every time Nancy's on an elevator, it almost kills her, because she is Nancy
I
Drew.
need to replace all of these gears before the brakes give out.
This is also a randomized puzzle in that the location of the pieces is randomized, so sometimes you get lucky, and sometimes you have situations like the one I had there, where all 3 of the pieces were stacked on each other. It's like, ugh,
Good.
hard to grab them. So this is the longest video of this segment. This is going to be a 9-minute video, segment number
I need
9.
to find the power knob before I can use it.
And surprisingly, next to the first one, it's very straightforward. I mean, just like the first one, it's incredibly straightforward. It's a very straightforward thing. I'm doing things in a linear fashion simply because of the way I set up everything with Ryan. I have to do things in a particular way now. So it would be a time saver if you could pick up the, what do you call it, the building there, Warden Cliff, but alas, you cannot. Yeah, there's just no way to do it right now, huh? You actually have to listen to the audio diary, which means I need to distract Victor. But I already distracted Victor. Hooray!
Tesla was that's no I don't when he I always like to think that's how Wardenclyffe came down. Not with a wrecking ball, but with one of his unassuming little boxes set to frequency 37. It's Tuesday. Ryan, which reminds me. The parts arrived.
I have no idea why I listened to entry 3. Oh wait, now I do.
What was Nico up to with
You don't
his
have to
ticket?
listen to all of entry number
This
1,
must
but
be
you
what
do
Nico
have to
was
listen
talking
to
about
all
in
of
his
entry
diary.
number 3. So that's why I listened to number 3 before number 1. Oh, puzzles.
This must be the key to one of Nico's passwords.
Basically, Nico set up a puzzle to protect a clue for a puzzle, to protect a clue for a puzzle, to protect a clue for a puzzle. And I'm still wondering why Nico set up that really, you know, this fancy security for his lab. It's like, well, I mean, I can understand he didn't want people sneaking into his lab and stealing his stuff. But, you know, this is also the case with the video that, you know, the video of his murder. Why did he set up such strong security to protect the video of his murder? You think he would want people to be able to take that video to the police and stuff? It's a minor time saver while you know, pull out an item while you're going down the ladder, because it takes a half second for Nancy to go down the ladder. She doesn't instantly go down the ladder. And there was a minor time saver there. You'll notice I clicked that yellow dot twice as opposed to, you're supposed to click the one to the right and then the one to the left, but I just clicked the left one twice. Really minor time saver.
This must be the unedited footage.
And now I'm just going to do the, you know, the phone call interrupt. This is funny. I like this.
I found proof that the video was doctored.
That's almost interesting. Did you find the full video yet?
Not yet.
Well, chop chop, girl detective. I got me a deadline.
Nancy, I haven't found the full video yet. Oh, by the way, I'm watching it right now in the background. And it's really difficult to judge the end of this video. Yeah.
Victor!
Hanging up.
So, you know, if you're lucky, you would perfectly time, you know, Nancy with the same time that the other Nancy talks. But,
of course. I bet all of my electronics just got fried.
Oh, that was pretty good. There's one time I did it perfectly. It's like, oh, that's so amazing. I guessed when the video would end to the very second. Oh, yeah, that's just show-offery there. Alrighty, so what are we doing? We're getting the Pizza Planet thing.
Just in case you were wondering, yes, Victor's
I was kind of hoping I would only have to, I was kind of hoping to skip this somewhat long conversation with Ryan.
This line represents
but there's
my
no way to
and
skip
well-being
it.
over time. You may notice the steep decline. This frowny face here is because this is the first time I've made a chart, and it turns out it's very boring. That is also why there is a dragon and a dog on the skateboard and other stuff.
I need your help. Big time.
What?
It was Victor.
Need your help.
He killed
big
Nico.
time, big time.
Did you call
help.
the police?
I couldn't. I had evidence, but it got zapped when I tried to take it out of Nico's secret lab.
Secret lab? Zapped? What?
I'll explain later. I just need
Yeah,
a way
Nancy
to get
can't
the
explain
video
now. There's
out
no time
without
to explain. We need to run.
You need to find a way to make a Faraday cage. That should get the drive out without wiping it. Get the drive out. I'll work on what to do next. Take this. It'll help.
This box might be just what I need to build a Faraday container. This might work.
Or maybe it'll backfire and electrocute you.
What?
Sorry. I'm just so happy we're gonna bust him. And also really scared he'll catch us and kill us all. I'm on a roller coaster right now. Ellie and
I like how Nancy didn't need to prove that Victor's the killer. Just you know, Ryan just takes Nancy's word for it.
If he knows you're about to get the video out, he will kill you. Play it cool, Nancy.
Goodbye.
And yeah, you know, I did complain that, you know, you have to do all these puzzles in a linear order. You can't, like, shake things up at the end. I don't like that because it doesn't let me beat the game as fast, but I do like that in that, you know, it kind of increases the length of the ending sequence, so it's really not like, oh, 5 minutes in between you learning Victor's the killer and the end of the game. It's more like, you can see we've got, well, 6 minutes between learning Victor's the killer and the end of the game. Still, you know, it's different than, like, the older Nancy Drew games where the culprit, you figure out who the culprit is, game immediately ends. You know, we've got a little bit of time after the culprit's identity is discovered. Yeah, we know who the culprit is. Now we have to get away with the evidence.
Okay, it's transferred.
I have to wonder if there's anything else on Nico's computer besides the video of himself being killed. And I still have to wonder how he got that video of himself being killed because, follow my logic on this, he was dead at the time, so he couldn't have saved it later. He must have sent it, you know, set it up to automatically send that video to himself.
Victor,
which means, you know, either he was super paranoid or he knew ahead of time when he would be killed and did nothing to stop it. So he must have been super paranoid and just set it to happen automatically.
I just couldn't find it, which is why I asked you to stay out.
You got away with murder. Why not make a break for it? Why the elaborate plan?
Murder investigations don't just go away. Someone had to take the fall, Nancy.
Yeah, and Victor purposely, you know, waits until Nancy is awake. I don't think he purposely waits until Nancy's awake, but, you know, he drags Nancy's body all the way over here and puts her inside a safe cage. He does put her inside the safe Faraday cage in order to kill her. It's like, Victor, are you trying to protect her from being killed, or are you trying to kill her? I thought you were smart enough to kill a scientist, Victor, and this is not the best way to kill Nancy. I guess he was trying to make Nancy's death look like an accident. Maybe that's what he was going for. Could be. And there I did the dialogue interrupt trick one final time before the final puzzle.
This must be the schematic for the circuit.
And this is really the end of the speedrun. Really, it's going to take me 40 seconds to solve the final puzzle. And then after the 40 seconds, the rest of the video is just ending scenes. Alright, Michael, you can do this. Faster. Faster, not so slow, bro. Oh, but don't go so fast that you lose track of where you're clicking. So basically the way I did this, recorded this, was I just recorded this like, you know, 7 times in a row. I did it 7 times in a row and I went with my fastest time. It is really difficult after time number 5 or 6 to sit through that ending scene. I like the ending scene, yes, but watching the 4-minute scene over and over and over again, it's not very interesting. And that's the end of the speedrun, technically. If you want to say a speedrun ends when I last, you know, when I make my final click, then it ended there at 52 minutes and 35 seconds.
And then to a courthouse where he was charged with
so
the murder of
why did Victor run out while the Tesla coil was active? You killed somebody with that Tesla coil, Victor. You know it's dangerous. You should know it's dangerous. And my other question is, who turned off the Tesla coil? Because Victor was unconscious, Nancy was in the Faraday cage, and nobody could have gotten inside the control room, you know, because the Tesla coil was active, so, So they must have shut off the Tesla coil remotely. That's the only possible explanation, but everybody makes such a big deal about the Tesla coil not being able to be turned on remotely to kill Nico. That's what Ryan said. The killer had to be in the room with Nico. You can't turn it on and off remotely. So, you know, just complaining here. So here's something I do like. One of the commenters on this YouTube video is also a commenter on the YouTube video at the end of Nancy Drew. Labyrinth of Lies. We have a cheeseburger at 21. Yes. It's great. YouTube comments are great.
Ellie was surprised at first to hear that Mason
especially the YouTube comments, like, you know, the ones people made, which told me, hey, these are tricks, these are how you can beat the game even faster. Thank you very much to those people. If I forgot anyone, I'm sorry. I did try to mention everybody's name out loud.
She's excited to make that decision alongside her family.
Oh, and this ending scene is basically covering, you know, storyline parts that I completely skipped over. Why is there a crossbow on the wall? Why is there a crossbow on the wall? And then is that above it? Is that like a flying air machine?
Some of the work he plans to destroy.
Awesome.
Although she had been exonerated, it wasn't until Ryan knew exactly what happened to Nico that she could begin to move on from what happened that night. She decided to stay with the team.
I can understand why Ryan wanted to know, who really killed him. I wouldn't be satisfied with being cleared. I want to know who the real killer is.
More than anything, Nico wanted his work
and there's
to make
Nico's
the world
ugly
a better
Christmas
place.
sweater.
I'd like to think he'd be very proud to see the team working hard to prepare his work for public release.
Anyway, thank you very much for watching my speedrun. I hope you enjoyed my speedrun. You know, it took a lot of work. I have no idea what game I'm going to speedrun next. You can leave suggestions on my YouTube page. I do look at the comments occasionally. You know, every now and then I check back to see, did people come up with any tricks that I could use to make the speedrun even shorter? And sometimes they do. I think somebody came up with one for my Alibi and Ashes speedrun, so maybe I'll fix that one next. And I got the trivia question wrong.